Morning, Yamhill County. You are tuned right here to the root of it.
To the root of it on KLYC 1260. So yeah, you did find us.
Yeah, and if you want to get us streaming live on the internet, KLYC.us is the place to go for that. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, Kyle. I'd like to say good morning to my wife, who's down in Los Angeles and actually probably watching us by now.
Oh, would you like to give a shout out? Is that what you're doing right here? You're giving a shout out? Okay.
Yep. Giving a little shout out. She's having coffee down there where it's like 80 degrees. Been laying by her friend's pool for 2 freaking days.
Well, that's got to be lovely. But we'll get warm up here, aren't we? We're going to get up to almost 53 degrees. That's pretty similar, right? Almost pool lounging material there.
Yeah, not timed yet to get down below 3 layers, but...
Right. Current conditions here in McMinnville, 35 degrees.
Yep.
And apparently we got below freezing a little bit for a little bit last night there.
Yeah, there was just a touch of frost. Not bad.
Yeah, when I got out this morning there at about 8 o'clock outside, there was nothing. I didn't see any frost at all.
No.
So
and there was nothing on the windshield. So
sunny, bright day.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. This is the day to go out and do stuff.
Yeah, and so today we've got patchy fog before 10 a.m., and then otherwise partly sunny with high near 48 and light and variable wind, which is normal.
I'm not sure where that patchy fog is. That may be over on the other side of the valley somewhere.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed
down by
it
the
in
river.
the higher elevations, actually, is where I noticed it when I was driving in, because we've got the nice Eola Hills right there, and it all seemed to be sitting at about 900, 1,000 feet or something like that. That's where I noticed the fog.
Well, you can see it over by the West Hills.
Right.
But not necessarily here in town. It's pretty nice outside.
Yeah, on the news they showed a picture from Bald Peak yesterday, and that's always a pleasure. Whenever you see fog in the valley, you go up to Bald Peak, and it's just clear up there, but it's just an ocean of precipitation
I bet
down
that would be
below.
a cool shot.
Yeah, it really is nice, and I was fortunate enough that we used to have to drive over Bald Peak almost a few times a week. And every once in a while you get that shot, and it's gorgeous, just the whole valley covered in fog.
I noticed the other day when I was commuting into Tualatin.
Oh, yeah.
We had a beautiful sunny day here, or at least it was sort of, and as soon as you broke over the top of Rex Hill, it was like fog town.
Just all fog.
Yeah, just fog.
Just
like
happens.
quarter-mile visibility on the other side of the hill.
Yeah, whenever I take that drive... and it's raining, it's as though whenever I turn my windshield wipers on, then it stops raining, and then when I turn them off, then it starts raining again. You ever have that problem?
Yes. In a word, yes.
Yes, I mean,
I hate that.
It's ridiculous.
You just get the wipers adjusted to the rate
right
of slap
level.
that you can see, and then it quits raining, or somebody goes by and hits a big mud puddle on the other side, and you just go splat, and the road disappears.
Because that is one of the things that you do when you're driving, and I guess it might be just because it rains a lot here, so you notice it, but you get that setting just right. And there are only so many settings. You can't get it just perfect all the time, and you get to match the rain, and then it's less than a minute. Really, it lasts less than a minute, and then it starts raining harder. And the setting's just wrong.
My spouse is convinced that I have a windshield fantasy or fetish.
Is it one that reads the precipitation, the rain speed? And all of that?
No. It's not quite that advanced. No, it's a Prius. It barely even talks to me.
Nice.
I'm sure it's a sensitive car because it's heard me insulted a couple of times.
But if you had it set to the sensitivity of the rain, and then you would get that wipe just as intermediately as you want it.
Maybe in the next car.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm a very good boy.
Mm-hmm. Probably have to be a Tesla or something.
Yeah. Which is not a bad idea. If I hit the lottery tonight, I would get one.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll wait and see.
But anyway, it's beautiful out. It's a good day to garden. And we're going to talk about some gardening here, and we
get questions, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's what you probably want to jump into, because we get questions. If you have any questions for us, the phone number right here is 503-435-1260. That's 503-435-1260. And if you have any questions via email, you go ahead and you just email
The
Ray.
email works.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's ray@totherootofit.com.
Yes.
Just like it sounds.
And Kyle, totherootofit.com.
Kyle at totherootofit.com. You don't want to say Kyle totherootofit.com.
Kyle at.
Yep.
Ray at.
That's right. And so we got a couple of questions sent to us. And why don't you go ahead and read the first one, because I don't have it in front of me right now.
Oh, well, this one comes from a person by the name of Alejandro up in Newburgh. And he has some questions about fruit trees and small fruits. And his question was, we've noticed that many of the local garden centers are now selling fruit trees and other small fruits such as blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. We have several questions about what we can and should do to grow our own. Please answer as many as you can, blah, blah, blah. Our yard is large and in full sun, and we really enjoy gardening. And yes, the nurseries are stocking up. Now is the time to go ahead and go shopping.
This is the time. This
is the time.
We're going to talk about one of the annual sales that happens that just tells you that the shopping season has begun for the bare roots and all of the trees and the shrubs and plants and everything. It's time. This is the time, though, for the small orchard, for those kinds of plants especially.
And there's a really good reason why now is the time to go ahead and go out and go shopping. Get your new dwarf Gravenstein or whatever you want to add to your family's food pantry, and go ahead and put it in the ground right now. This week is fine. They're not going to be bothered by any kind of cold that we have for a while because they've been outside. They're already hardened off. They're already seasoned. And what happens is once you get the roots in the dirt, they're below the cold, and the roots start doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right, because we have the rains that are supposedly supposed to be coming.
And soil's nicely moist, but not too.
Right. And so you drop them in right now, and through the end of March is usually when you can go ahead and check those out.
Yeah.
But
there's somebody up besides us.
That is, and we're going to get to that. Why don't you go ahead and talk about the site?
The website? Yeah. Okay. We have access. If you have a computer at home and you have any kind of questions, you can go to extension.oregonstate, all one word, .edu/Yamhill, and up in the left-hand corner there's a box you can punch, and it says publications. And these are all publications that answer gardening questions and gardening situations, and they are. You can download them for free and print them off. And it's really great information. It's fully researched.
Yeah, and some of these the publications that I was looking at, some were one was published in 1993 and one was published in 2003. However, the information is still very relevant. You can define a scab only so many times until you've got it.
Yeah, you can pick it a lot of times too.
Yeah, it seems like we dropped the caller dropped off, so we're hoping
shoot.
that somebody will give us a call back. To test our phone lines, because that's what we always like to do.
But this is for Alejandro. There's publications on Apple Pest Management Guide for the Willamette Valley. That's us.
Right.
And how to take care of apple maggot.
How to take care of it, or how to get rid of it?
How to get rid of it.
You definitely
don't want it.
Take care of them.
No, it's not an endangered species. Trust me. You can go ahead and annihilate this one just fine.
Yeah. And another good thing, and it's really a website that most of our listeners should know by now. That's extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill, and then this is /apples after that also.
Yeah.
It really, and you've also got apple scab. And why don't you pull that out right there? Because we've actually, I printed off that publication because that's exactly what you can do. You find something that you like, you print it. It's got cultivars in there. It's got, so briefly, why don't we go through this apple scab publication? Because it's something that you love to do. You love to spray. You love to talk about spraying.
Well, it's a very, very common fungus here in the Willamette Valley. And it doesn't really destroy the fruit, but it makes it ugly.
Just ugly.
And underneath the scabs, the meat of the apple will be kind of hardened and kind of useful. So that's the bad part, is for like a quarter of an inch into your apple, it's just kind of woody. There really isn't any flavor because the fungus has sucked all the goody out of the apple.
And but still edible. It's not.
It's
not rotten. It's not.
No,
gross.
it's not going to hurt you.
Just undesirable. And this is what a lot of. If you have a home orchard, if you have a lot of apple trees somewhere growing out in the wild, this is normal. This is what happens because you're not spraying these trees normally, so they're used to having these things, and you can get over it. But if it's in your backyard, you're going to want to spray.
Well, and there again, middle of February is a good time to go out and spray. And today, where it's sunny, so the spray will dry, and it's not really, really windy. What is the wind supposed to be today like?
I am looking at it, and it says it's variable.
Variable. Okay, that means,
Light.
Light and variable. Okay, so don't try and fly a kite today.
No, not going to happen.
And no, you're going to have to run really hard to get it up.
But the reason you want the wind speed to be down a little bit lower is because when you're spraying that, you're not going to get maximum coverage because it's blowing away.
Right, and the sprays that you use for scab are pretty generic sulfur copper sprays.
Oh yeah.
And actually you can use these sprays on things like your roses and your dogwoods, and it's very organic. It's just sulfur and copper, which are not in any way, shape, or form going to be poisonous to you.
Because what you're trying to do is this fungus that creates the scab is you're trying to go ahead and neutralize it and
right.
go ahead and get
kill
rid
the
of
spores.
Right, because it is that fungus that causes it, and it's really weird to think about it because you can have those quarter size scabs on an apple.
Oh yeah, they're uglier than sin.
And to think that it started right now before you even have the first bud pop out of the tree, it's incredible.
And it can winter over in the leaves and things. Oh, there, maybe her caller got back.
Yep, we're gonna work on that.
Yeah, okay. Well, you work on that. I'll talk about picking your scab.
No.
Anyway,
yeah, sharing the scabs. That's great.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt the fruit if you're, and we're speaking specifically about apples right now. But it doesn't bother the meat too badly. Like I said, it does kind of make it woody and tasteless right underneath the scab, but you can peel that part off. And once you get this under control, you still have to do it each year.
At least each year, right?
Yeah, because the fungal spores are literally blowing around out there. Some of them are in the leaves that you forgot to rake up last year. So again, they just bounce right back up into the tree with the first good windy rainstorm, and there you have it back again. So you do have to spray each year, and sometimes you have to spray a couple of times in the spring. Don't be discouraged if it comes a nasty rainstorm the day after you sprayed.
Mm-hmm.
Just plan on doing it again in a couple of weeks. And we're going to try that caller. No, not happening. But anyway, what you really need to do is break the cycle of the infection. And that you do by routinely spraying each year. Apple cultivars have a tendency to vary in their susceptibility to apple scab,
which is good because that's you have different flavors and you have different resistance. We've actually got a list of some of the cultivars here, and there are just so many more than I've ever even heard of. So I know the Gala and the Golden Delicious; those are very susceptible to scab. Let me find one. It's called the Prima, which is actually immune to the scab. Primo.
I've never heard of that one. A lot of these, though, yellow transparent, that's susceptible. Prima, absolutely immune. Liberty, absolutely immune.
I think that these are ones that I probably have seen in the store, and that's probably like I think that I've actually seen a Liberty in the grocery store.
Well, you see a lot of them at the farmer's market because they are in various varieties, and I can't think of the name of the guy that sells them, but he's got some of the best, like Honeycrisp and things, and they're all grown locally and they're all grown organically, and that's why the sulfur and lime can be used on an organic product because they're natural. I don't want to say chemicals; they're natural substances.
So, oh my gosh! So there's Kane, Brayburn, Chehalis, Criterion, Fuji, Gala, Golden Delicious, Granny Smith, Gravenstein, I Dared, Jonah Gold, Liberty, Macintosh, Melrose, Mutsu, Paula Red, Prima, Red Delicious. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Rome, Spartan, Summer Red, Titerman's Red, Yellow Transparent. These are just the ones that are on here. That's a lot of apples.
There's a wide variety of apples that do just fine here in the Yamhill Valley.
And the reason is that you get a different apple each seed you plant, right? I mean, that's why there's so many different varieties out there. The reason, and if you want the same cultivar, you're going to have to go ahead and put that on a different tree. You have to graft it, right?
Well, yeah. One of the really trick things to get if you want to do trick fruit is get one that's already been grafted. They'll frequently take a Red Delicious stalk or stem and then graft onto it a Brayburn and possibly a Granny Smith, and so you'll have 3 or more varieties on one tree. They're really cute, and they all ripen up at different times, but they all get scab. So you gotta spray them anyway.
You have to spray them anyway. But just the list and the variety and that's out there is really great. So what else about scab?
Well, there are scab-tolerant flowering crab apples are particularly resistant. And there's Donald Wyman, the Red Jewel, Sugar Time, Zumi, Jewelberry. There's a good list of crab apples, and people go, "What do you use crab apples for?" Well, that's your jams and jellies.
I was going to ask you that.
Oh yeah, and you can
because crab apples are not sweet.
No, no. Think of them as like pie apples.
Okay, where you dump a lot of sugar and other things. All they are is just basically potato. They're just filling. They're just tasteless.
They keep
filling.
the crust apart.
They separate the crust.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, because I have crab apples, and for me, what they're more ornamental because they grow up bigger. They can grow up fluffier. That's the only purpose. I remember being a kid and knowing the difference between a crab apple and an apple, and you just, unless you were going to use the crab apples to throw at people, you just stayed away from them. That seemed like the only purpose. They were the perfect size.
Yeah, they're good slingshot material.
Right, exactly.
When my parents moved out here from Wisconsin, Dad brought apple trees, to put on the new homestead.
Oh, nice.
And that's what he selected was a Red Delicious, a Yellow Delicious, a crab apple, a Gravenstein, a Jonathan, and a Rome.
Ah.
And those were the 6 apple trees that we had because each one ripened at a different time, so it didn't make it too much work for Mom at any one given time.
That is a very important point. Yes, you can space them out. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Because you've got some that are ready in August and some that don't show up until October there.
Right. The Romes are generally considered a winter apple because they do overwinter pretty well. Mm-hmm. If you have a cool, dry place and you wrap them in newspaper, you can actually keep them in the garage for a number of months. Wow. They're a very durable apple. Besides having a wonderful flavor and being excellent for cooking, they're not so much I don't know. I guess people do peel and eat them, but...
But you don't?
No. If I'm going to, Anyway, we're gonna take a little break here. Caller, keep trying, 503-435-1260. And
you're listening to the root of it right here.
We'll get it right. I swear. It'll happen.
I see.
Yeah, dadgummit.
Okay.
Call forward unconditional. Deactivated.
Last page. From Susie in Northeast McMinnville. Because all of his other questions are answered, come to the seminar. Come to the seminar. Oh wait, never mind. They're about tomatoes.
Alejandro had a couple other pretty good questions. We may have to, slip in the seminar.
Yeah, let's do it anyway, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can come back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. She said, my wife said she can hear us online right now, and there's no ad playing on like usual.
And turn your yuck into Cindy's Gym is located on the corner of 11th and Adams in McMinnville. Out West Tax Service is targeting tax savings for you. Taxes can be stressful, but having someone you can work with to keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket by utilizing the current tax laws is the way to go. Don't take chances with over-the-counter software. Don't miss out on tax breaks, tax credits, or simply understanding your real tax situation. Save yourself the stress this tax season. Get your taxes done right. Call Out West Tax Service at 503-554-1444 and utilize Patricia Hofer's 20 years of experience. Patricia Hofer and Out West Tax Service are members of the National Association of Tax Professionals, the Oregon Association of Tax Consultants, Oregon Board of Tax Practitioners, Consultant License 28438C, Business License B15243. Out West Tax Service is targeting tax savings for you.
Okay. And welcome back, Ray.
Yeah, welcome back, Kyle. We're slowly but surely getting all the stuff warmed up this morning, and the website's working good now, and
yeah, the website's up and it's working great. The phone system, however...
Yeah, we have a little issue on the phone system.
So that phone number that we gave out, just don't worry
work.
about that right now. Send us an email. Send us an email, Kyle@totherootofit.com, Ray@totherootofit.com. We were just talking about how we actually get our email. That email, I will actually get on my phone. Did you know that?
Yeah, I don't.
No. Okay.
No, I would have to go home and get the beast
right
to warm up.
Yes, the desktop with the keyboard and mouse.
Oh, my 8-year-old desktop.
Oh my gosh, that is so incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty near antique status.
No, I am a snob when it comes to technology, and if it's more than a year old, that is just way too old. It might as well be.
Yeah, it's obsolete.
It is. It's completely obsolete,
Yeah.
of which it's not. But
it's kind of like a classic car.
Right.
It's something you don't really drive a lot, but
my uncle actually has the original iPhone still, and so it was. And I have the latest iPhone, and I got to use his first iPhone, and it was so frustrating because for an application to load, it would take like 3 or 4 seconds, as opposed to mine now where it takes, less than a second. So it's just like, oh.
No,
that's
I'm not
3
allowed
seconds.
to play with big boy toys yet.
All right.
Yeah, but anyway, back to Alejandro's. He had a couple other questions.
He had a lot of other questions,
Yeah,
didn't he?
he-
Most importantly, the most important question in Willamette Valley always involves tomatoes.
Right. And we here in Yamhill County do have some of the best tomatoes I've ever eaten, but there's a little bit of a trick to actually growing them. We do have some ripening issues. I believe it was 1986 was called the year of the green tomato. The clouds didn't part
Nice.
till the last week of August, for
Oh,
crying out loud, so there
great.
was no sunlight. But
But most importantly, for the kids out there and for those that always ask this question, is the tomato classified as a vegetable or a fruit?
it's biologically a fruit,
Yes.
and
And the
used-
reason, because it has its seeds inside of it.
the way the seeds are arranged inside the
Right.
in the meat of the fruit. But it's used as a vegetable because it is such a valuable part of our diets. All cultures use tomatoes.
Because while
If
it's
they get
sweet,
grown.
we don't consider, we
I
consider
shouldn't
the
say
apple.
all cultures.
So when we think of fruit, mostly we think of sweet
Right.
things, and the tomato, while a little sweet, it's more acidic than most of the other fruits out there.
Yeah, but it's a very valuable part of our vegetable growing process. And
Every gardener wants to have tomatoes in their garden, and I know when I moved here, we had problems, we have issues, and everybody that moves here, they complain about having issues. So what is the secret? The biggest secret here in Yamhill Valley, Yamhill County, is to actually start them early indoors.
right,
That's the secret.
that's the secret. And then don't put them out. If you can hold off until after the 1st of June, when the soil, because tomatoes really like warm.
So you start them indoors in
Start 'em indoors.
April-ish.
Yeah, April, as early as the end of March, if you have a decent growing area. I've done it just using a neon shop light. They don't have to have big fancy grow lights or anything like that.
Right. The key is to just keep them out of the weather and keep them out of the wind and the rain and all of those things. So you give them a really great. It's basically a nursery, and that's why they call them nurseries, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking care of the baby and in its formative years, so it can develop into its best thing. And then when all of the hard, tough parts about life are over there, and
Yeah.
the summer comes, you go ahead and throw them outside to enjoy the sun.
If you can get them started 8 or 9 weeks in the house, even on the clothes dryer, doesn't matter.
Because you're looking at an 80 to 100 and some odd day growing period for the tomato. So if you go ahead and you have the first 30 to 40 days indoors, then that's perfect.
Yeah, and then you put them out like after Memorial Day. Dad never planted a tomato before Memorial Day. He said it was just a waste.
Not in this state.
Not
in this state. No.
Not in Oregon. Just don't even bother. Because they aren't going to do anything until the middle of June anyway. So if you put them in the ground in the middle of June, by the 4th of July or the middle of July, they'll be bigger than the ones you put out earlier anyway.
Right.
And be more productive more quickly than the ones that you put out early. So if you get your tomatoes at a nursery or at a garden center of some type, it's okay to keep them inside for a little while as long as they get some kind of light and you don't overwater them. Again, tomatoes like a little drier situation. When they're first being formulated or first starting to grow, you just want to keep them just damp enough to where they can absorb.
A wrung-out sponge.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yep.
But not a drippy sponge.
No.
Because tomatoes will get rot real quick.
Yeah, they get all black, and then those little gnat flies start
Yeah.
hanging around. That's when you know it's all gone.
And you wonder, where in the heck did them come from?
Exactly
How'd they get into my laundry room?
Where did
They come in on the
from?
dog or what?
Right, exactly. They just show up. All of a sudden, they know where the rod is. It's incredible.
Why does my dog have fruit flies?
Nice.
Yeah.
But that is the biggest secret.
That's the biggest secret, is to get them started and get them well established before you put them in the dirt outside.
And what's really great is the plant sale that we have for the Yamhill Master Gardeners plant sale happens at the end of April, which is conveniently enough. You take them home, you keep them for a week or two, maybe, then throw them in.
Maybe 3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
or a month, and those tomatoes are started at the end of February, 1st part of March, but they're in a greenhouse in an absolute perfect situation, being tended by nice little old ladies.
Right.
God, I love them ladies. They make some beautiful plants.
Beautiful plants.
And they're reasonable cost. They're like $1.50.
Right.
And a wide variety. And all of the tomatoes that are grown in the greenhouse are excellent producers in Yamhill County.
So we've given away one of the biggest secret on how to get good tomatoes here in the county. But if you want more information, because we also are going to have information about grafting tomatoes.
Oh, at the Spring into Gardening Seminar, March 8th?
That's the one.
That's the one, yes. We have... Alan Wenner is going to discuss growing tomatoes in one of the breakout sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's an absolute genius when it comes to growing tomatoes.
So that's going to be an hour discussion about
and he'll
tomatoes.
tell his secrets.
A lot more secrets than
Serious
we can reveal
secrets.
right here on the radio, right?
On pain of death.
You're going to have to come to the seminar.
You have to come to the seminar.
And that seminar is March 8th. That's at McMinnville High School Auditorium, which is a really large auditorium. If you've never been there, it's surprisingly large and accommodating.
It's a 400-seat theater.
Yeah.
Alice Doyle is going to do one of the breakout sessions on tomato grafting, and this is something that just mystifies the daylights out of me. I'm not sure, where do you get the original...
This guy will
roots?
be up front row for this thing, because so you've got to grow a tomato, and then you've got to...
I've seen the results.
Everything up. Yeah, and then just stick stuff on the stem. It's fascinating. I can't wait. So grafting tomatoes is going to be part of this seminar, March 8th.
Yeah, if you want to truly increase your tomato production, you'll get like 3 to 4 times the tomatoes from a grafted tomato. That's why they're $7 a plant. As opposed to $2 a plant.
Right. For they're more expensive for the higher yielding ones.
Yeah, they're But if you want a lot of tomatoes,
yes,
you go ahead and
well, I don't know. See, this is the thing. This is the first when we decided to have that person speak about this. This is the first time that I heard about this process.
Really?
Yeah, and I come from let's say a grape growing knowledge, and it's the exact same kind of thing that you're doing with a grape, sticking it on a rootstock. But why I'd never heard of tomatoes being done this way, I have no idea until this year.
Territorial Seeds does a lot of them.
Yep.
And they're fairly expensive plants, but...
Because it's a process. Somebody has to grow the tomato plant, then they have to cut it off, and then they have to grow another tomato plant to stick it on. It's labor intensive, it sounds like.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah. So if you want more information on that, you just go to extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill, and right there will be a nice link to the Spring into Gardening seminar, which is March 8th here in McMinnville.
Yeah, the whole seminar this year is going to be growing small fruits in the home garden, including berries, grapes, and tomatoes. Blueberries is a whole section. If you haven't had really good success with a blueberry plant in your backyard, this would make it worth it.
Because it is one of those things that they make the blueberry it's a shrub, right?
Right.
So it makes really great shrubbery for focal points, and I am one of those people that have problems with growing the blueberry.
Well, it's an attractive shrub.
It's an edible one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birds like it too, though.
Birds like my currants. Birds like my josta berries. Birds like my raspberries. I don't have any blueberries for them. Like, they love my grapes. They love everything.
Oh, you're going to have to invest in a lot of netting out there, aren't you?
Yes. You know what I want? I think I just want one of those cannons. Those propane cannons that go off.
Kaboom.
Yeah, you know that it's harvest season when those things start going off.
Yeah.
And I think I just want one of those. They're not incredibly effective because the birds can figure out, oh, boom, and then they scatter, and then they realize, wait a second, nothing happened. So then they just kind of get ambivalent to it. But if you've got 100 acres of grapes, it's nice to know that you have a cannon protecting it too. Even if it's only superficially.
Yeah, you might as well hang out more sparkly.
Right, exactly. Well, the sparkly is actually more effective. The sparkly,
really?
Yeah, you see those big sparkly streamers on the end. It's the most effective thing.
Looks like Christmas tinsel.
Because
to me.
a bird, it's not stationary. It doesn't stay in one place, so it's always moving, and it's reflecting the light. It confuses the heck out of the birds. They're like, "What the? What? No, I'm not going there. That thing could be spinning. It could be doing something and killing me."
Huh?
Yep. Most effective.
I'll be dadgum. Because the cannons, they're annoying, but you know that they're going to quit in about 2 weeks anyway.
Hopefully, or unless somebody doesn't turn it off or something.
Yeah, or it runs out of propane.
Right. Yeah, I've never seen. If you have never seen them, it's incredible. It's almost like what they use to shoot the T-shirts into the stands at sporting events. It's so small, and yet it produces such a large sound.
Well, out on your valley, it would echo off Viola Hills.
It goes everywhere, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and when we first moved here, no idea what it was. Had no idea why somebody kept shooting their gun, but that isn't it. It's all of that. So why don't we go ahead and jump into a break now because it is 9:40 here in Yamhill County. When we come back, we've got one more question that was sent to us, so we'll go ahead and jump into that one about soils. Yep. You are listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
AM 1260 KLYC, To the Root of It, and sponsor for To the Root of It here is Recology Northwest Greenlands, having a facility here in McMinnville. We're talking to Nick Olheiser, the supervisor lead. Now, Recology Northwest Greenlands has undergone a bit of a change in their corporate structure and their name and so on and so forth, but they're still here in McMinnville, still here to provide quality mulch and garden products.
Yeah, absolutely. About 3 years ago, we were purchased by a San Francisco-based company called Recology. Basically, it's just been a rebranding for us in a sense. We've changed a few of our processes that we do here on site. Other than that, everything's the same. We still offer the same services, the same great staff, and the same competitive prices as well.
So if you need something you mulch for your garden, your operation, come down here to Recology. One of the things we're very excited about is April 19th. You're going to have a big event here, and we're going to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be our celebration for Earth Day. We do it every year. I think this is our 6th or 7th annual one. We're going to be having discounts. We'll have site tours. We're going to have raffles and drawings. We're giving away free deliveries, everything and anything you could want. Come on out and come visit us and come see what we have going on.
And To the Root of It on April 19th, we'll be coming to you live from Recology, which is just up the road from the radio station. But one of the things we want to do with To the Root of It, as much as possible, take it on location. Obviously, we want to wait till the weather's warm. But April 19th, we'll definitely be here at Recology Northwest Greenlands doing a show, and Ray and Kyle will be here talking about the products they have here and how you can use it in your applications.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be out here, like I said. We'll go through. We're going to have a few demonstrations, exhibits, and kind of show you benefits to composting and what it does for your soil, and other benefits that you can have around your yard with it as well.
Now, when people talk about Recology Northwest Greenlands, what do you want them to think of as what you provide or the company?
I want them to realize that we are the new face of composting in a sense. This is kind of where the industry is shifting towards the more organics side of it. And I want us to be the front runners, and I want us to be more involved in the community, and I want them to know all about us when they hear our name.
And where are you located? What are your hours?
2200 Northeast Orchard Avenue here in McMinnville, and hours are going to be 8 to 4 Monday through Friday and 9 to 4 Saturday.
Talking to Nick Olheiser and Recology Northwest Greenlands, the sponsor of To the Root of It, right here on AM 1260 KLYC.
This is Bruce Huffman from Hillside Retirement Community wishing you a happy new year. Is 2014 your year to make a change in a true retirement? Hillside offers an enriched life for seniors with 15 to 17 food entrees per day to choose from. 25 fitness classes each week with a focus on fall prevention and brain wellness, plus travel and educational opportunities galore. We have cottage homes and apartments of various sizes to meet the unique needs of your retirement lifestyle. If you have not toured Hillside, make this your year to visit us. What you will find will surprise you. Call 503-472-9534 to schedule your tour.
Is pain from hip arthritis interfering with your daily life? We can help you. I am Dr. Michael Vesley, and I'm the medical director of the Joint Replacement Institute at Willamette Valley Medical Center. I received fellowship training in joint replacement at the Mayo Clinic and performed less invasive anterior total hip replacement surgery that allows for a shorter recovery. Based on our low complication rates and high patient satisfaction scores, you will not receive more personalized care or better outcomes elsewhere. If pain from hip arthritis is limiting you, please call me to schedule a consultation at 503-435-6571.
And welcome back. This is To the Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM. If you have any questions, the phone lines appear to be open now. 503-435-1260.
Yeah, please somebody try it.
Give us a test right there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, now you've just jinxed us.
Oh, no.
You know what I did want to talk about is because we have these questions about plant sales and
Right.
trees and all of that, and this is the time. And you know that it's the time of the year because the native plant sale happened.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it happened. The native plant sale that's always here in McMinnville, yearly event, happened during the snowstorm. So
it didn't happen.
So it kind of didn't happen.
No, it was
And
pretty ugly.
and it's put on by the Soil Water Conservation District,
And today is their replacement sale day.
which is really good because this is where you can go to get those blueberries. Right? They sell the native plants. They also have Doug, Grand, and Noble firs, and
Well, they sell elderberries and huckleberries. I think are the two edible berries. Yeah.
yeah, but not just that. And these are all native plants, and the proceeds go towards the Soil Water Conservation District.
And protecting Fender's blue butterfly.
Right, but they always get the jump on us. It seems like they're always the first one, but it's because they this plant sale is not just because it's native, but they have coniferous trees, and the Yamhill Master Gardeners don't really sell trees. at the
Not
plant sale.
anymore.
Right.
We used to, but I think there will be a few fruit trees at the plant sale, but I can't confirm that yet. So don't quote me on that one.
But from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Miller Woods, and it's at Miller Woods, or you can go to swcd.org
Yeah.
and find out more information. But really, it's got a lot of trees: maples, hawthorns, ash, white oak, crab apples, and a whole bunch of shrubs too. Good thing to check out, especially if it's a beautiful day like this. Go look at plants.
Well, the reason they have their sale now is these are all pretty much bare root, and you take it home and you put it right into the dirt. They're ready to go. They're ready to be planted today or tomorrow. It helps a little bit if you put them in a bucket of water overnight, or for at least a few hours.
Soak them up a little bit.
Yeah, kind of get the roots primed. And then just stick them in the dirt. And they come with planting instructions and the whole 9 yards. You can't...
So again, that's the native plant sale, and that's happening up at Miller's Woods.
Miller, singular. You go out Baker Creek Road till you get to Orchard View, and then take Orchard View up just a very few miles, and you get to Miller Woods.
Sure. 15580 Orchard View Road. So, yep, something to plant into the soil, and one of the next questions that we actually got was
It's
about soil.
Yeah,
incredible.
This was from Susie in Northeast McMinnville. And she had some questions about improving soil. They'd moved here from Wisconsin, and Wisconsin glacier soils are lots different than Yamhill County clay soils.
Oh, really? Sounds swampier.
It's a different consistency, let's call it. When you get to Yamhill County and you get all this clay, everybody goes, "Oh, ick, I got clay." Well, clay is probably the most nutrient-rich form of soil that there is. That's why everything grows in Yamhill County if you put enough mulch in the soil.
It needs air, and the problem with our clay soil is it gets compacted, and so you can't have any air going in there either, and a lot of stuff happens, so you just need to fluff the soil.
Right, and that's what the compost is good for.
Right.
That's why we talk about compost and mulch and things here, is because we do have clay soils, and all you really need to do is start breaking that up so that the nutrient process can take place, and it needs to have air, it needs to have water movement.
So Susie basically says our yard is large and has full sun, but the soil appears to be very heavy and wet. We would like the following questions answered to provide us with guidance. We have plenty of time and energy, and gardening is our primary hobby, but we want to make it easier. Okay, well that's okay. Congratulations, you're a gardener.
Yeah, you're one of us, Susie. Believe me.
Right. So, what would you recommend as the first step in deciding what needs to be done with this heavy soil?
Well, if you're new to the area, the first thing you want to do is find out what you have, and that can be done with a comprehensive soil test. And again, you can go to the extension office on Lafayette Avenue and get a list of labs. If you want a really detailed chemical analysis, it's going to cost you a few bucks.
Right, and a few bucks can, like $70 if you take it to one of the labs that are here in town. And for some people, like if you want to geek out to those kinds of things, it's really great.
Well, it's something that you only do once.
Right.
Because after that, then you're in control of your soil, and you can manage what it is.
Right, you're going to amend it the way you want.
It's kind of like the difference between takeout and cooking at home. You know what you put into the food.
Right.
You don't always know what was put into the food someplace else.
Yeah. So when dealing with the soil, good resource is us, the Master Gardeners, at the Yamhill County Extension Office, which is located on Lafayette. And then is there an extension publication that will assist us in developing a superior soil for our garden?
Oh, Lord, yes.
Plenty of them.
There's a whole library of information. If you go to the website,
which is extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill, right there's a link for catalogs, and in that catalog search, you just go ahead and type soil, and the more specific one is EC1561. If you want to get specific on the air right now, but it deals with soil, describes soil, the three properties of it. It's a really informative publication.
Give her that number she's looking for. Educational something.
Educational catalog? Educational whatever. EC1561. And you can even Google that. All you do is you type in Oregon State Extension EC1561. And there it is, everything you ever needed to know about soil here in the county here.
Yeah, you can download it or you can print it off. It's free. Mm-hmm. And one of the most beneficial things that you can do if you have hard-packed soils is start right over there at Recology and get yourself a couple of yards of good garden compost and start working that in now.
Tilling's good.
Yep.
Not tilling now though, but
Well, no, but I mean, you can literally you can just sprinkle it on and let it start to break down, and it'll break down as the bugs come up and start working in it, and the good bugs and the bad bugs and whatever bugs, worms, night crawlers, will start working in that layer, and start breaking down the connections between the clay soil.
one of the things that I'd learned is that the earthworms, because we're speaking of them, the largest pores in the soil are caused by earthworms, and that's where most of the water is able to get into, and all the nutrients and minerals are able to seep in. That's where the roots find their homes, but it's because of earthworms.
Yeah, that's how things travel through the soil, is through the...
So you don't have earthworms, you just basically have this hard, compact thing that...
You got adobe.
You have adobe, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the important thing about soil is any soil, no matter how compacted, can be improved by the addition of organic matter, which is to say, any soil can be improved if you put good things on it.
Yep. Go to Recology and get a truckload.
Right. And so some of the gardening problems that are caused by poor quality of the soil do include, the soil is dried and cracked in the summer. So if you see that the soil is dried and cracked, you know that you've got hard, compact soil that the roots aren't going to be able to get into.
It makes it tough for things to grow if they can't get through it. And
it makes it tough to dig holes, too. You know what I'm talking about? As soon as July hits and all of the moisture is out of this soil here, and you try and take a shovel, and it's adobe.
Well, I've been practicing the compost and mulch thing for a number of years now, and I can plant a new plant in August just fine. I don't have to jackhammer. I don't have to dynamite.
Oh, really?
Because
your soil has been worked in.
Because my soil's been mulched the living daylights out of it.
No.
Yeah.
No, for me, if I want to plant a hole, I know that I'm going to have to get the excavating backhoe out and, just to plant a shrub.
Oh, the dog can dig a hole at my house.
My dog would lose all of its nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got concrete out there. Some other things, though. Many problems with home vegetable gardens, fruits and trees and shrubs. They're actually caused by poor soil conditions, and not by pests.
Well, another question that she has is there an extension publication?
Oh, I've already answered that.
Oh, you already answered that one. Okay,
yes,
I'm sorry.
No, we have answered all of her lovely questions. And if you do have questions for us, go ahead and give us an email. He's ray@totherootofit.com. I am Kyle@totherootofit.com.
And as Susie and Alejandro found out, it works.
It works. It's fabulous.
So if you're shy and you don't want to call, you can email us, and you'll still get an answer to your question.
Right.
Just make sure you include, your information so that we can send it back to you, or we'll talk about it on the radio.
We'll talk about it anyway on the radio.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take one last break.
Okay, we got to do that one for the FCC.
For somebody.
Somebody cares.
Okay, we're going to jump into our last break. You're listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC.
AM 1260 KLYC. We want to thank Recology Northwest Greenlands for sponsoring To the Root of It. It's because of their financial support makes it possible for us to have this program on the radio. We very, very much appreciate it. Talking to Nick Olheiser, who is the project lead at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, there is a shift in the industry towards more organics, more naturals, and not chemicals and pesticides and unnatural fertilizers, but getting back to nature, right?
Exactly, yes. We're trying to get away from the man-made fertilizers that are so often used nowadays, trying to shift more into the organics and trying to educate individuals on the long-term benefits as well as the short-term benefits of organics. It's not good for just a year. It's good for 10 years. It's helping to restructure the soil, and it's not just providing instant nutrients. It's good in every way.
And it's also a lot safer to handle.
Absolutely, yes. It does not have, like you mentioned, the chemicals, the pesticides in it. So, yes, it's completely organic. Everything out here is OMRI listed, and it's good to go and put directly in your soil.
So come out here with your pickup truck. What kind of containers should people come out? Pickup truck, dump truck, what?
We can do pickup truck, dump trucks, trailers, whatever you have. You can also bring, we do 5-gallon bucket sales if you just need something small for just a little in-house garden or backyard garden that you may have. We can do 30-gallon containers, whatever you have. We'll make sure we meet your needs.
And phone number, do you have a website or a Facebook page?
Yes, we actually just got a brand new website all up and running with our prices as well as our hours and our address, and that's at www.compostoregon.com.
And again, phone number?
503-434-1671.
And don't forget, April 19th is Earth Day here. We're going to be doing To the Root of It live here at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Us too. Come on out. Come visit us. We'll have discounts. We'll have raffles, prizes, site tours, exhibits, everything and anything you can think of. We'll be here for you.
What are the hours on Earth Day on the 19th?
It will be 8 to 6 on Saturday.
Well, Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
AM 1260 KLYC, talking to Nick Olheiser, the project lead at Recology Northwest Greenlands in McMinnville, sponsor of To the Root of It on AM 1260 KLYC.
Just imagine, your son or daughter informs you that next weekend they are getting married. Your world changes in a moment. Friends and family need to be notified, flowers and clothing selected, the ceremony and reception planned and arranged. And that is how it is with the death of a loved one. Macy & Son is ready to help you with the pre-planning of your funeral arrangement or walking with you through the decisions and arrangements associated with your loved one's death. Since 1903, Macy & Son has been helping McMinnville area families for 5 generations. Macy & Son is ready to begin the journey with you.
We play your music. KLYC, McMinnville, Yamhill.
ABC News Now, I'm Deirdre Bryant.
We play your music. KLYC, McMinnville, Yamhill.
And welcome back. We're going to be finishing things up right here on To the Root of It here on KLYC.
Yeah, let's finish Susie's question on the soil.
Soil's really important, don't you think, to talk about?
Well, that's what the whole show's about. To the root of it, you know. Here we are.
To the soil, right.
Yeah, get to the bottom of it. Plants grow from the bottom up. That's just fact of nature.
What we were discussing is not having compact soil. You don't want any of that stuff in there.
No, but you want enough material in it to provide support for the roots and the stems and the weight of the plant above it. And there again, this is really made much better by using mulches and composts in your soil because the roots have access to the structure and can then grow more fully to support the plant.
And you'll know that you don't have good soil, not just because it's compact, but because it's lacking nutrients. If you start to see your water, if you start to see the rhododendrons and the hydrangeas in the hot weather, they just
wrinkle right up.
Right.
And no matter how much water you put on them, they still wrinkle up.
Yep. And
where the water just runs off.
A key thing we were talking about tomatoes earlier in the show, you'll still notice that black end rot, even if you've been fertilizing them with calcium, if you have poor soil.
Yeah, that's because magnesium and calcium are the two chemicals that are most water soluble and run out of our soils.
Right.
With the rain and the natural watering that we're supposed to be getting, or watering in the garden, you're actually rinsing those chemicals out of the soil. So that's why you have to apply calcium carbonate, which is just cheap garden lime, and you can prevent blossom end rot. It also makes other plants' roots more easily accept the nutrient that's in the soil because we won't get into all the little calcium ions.
Science happens.
Science happens at the root level.
Right.
That's the bottom level.
So that was really great to have a couple of questions to answer in today's show. If you have any more questions, go ahead and email Ray at totherootofit.com. Also, remember that the Yamhill County Master Gardeners are having a seminar at the McMinnville Auditorium on March 8th. It's called Spring into Gardening. A lot of information about the stuff that we talk about here on the show. A really great resource. To get more information on that, just go to the website extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill, or just check us out and Google Yamhill County Master Gardeners.
Yeah, the seminar is only $30, and I guarantee you'll save that in your first year.
Comes with a free lunch?
It
comes with a paid free lunch.
Comes with a paid free lunch. It's true. So anyway,
yep. Well, we'll go ahead and shut things down now. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for listening. This is Ray and Kyle. This has been To the Root of It, and we'll chat about your questions next week as well.
Yep. Go ahead and keep your tools sharp.
We play your music. KLYC, McMinnville, Yamhill.
ABC News Now, I'm Deirdre Bryant.